Hello, this is Pastor Rick, and I want to welcome you to the Sunday Forum. In preparation for this Sunday, January the 18th, we're right in the midst of our stewardship campaign here at church. We're very excited about the theme, Grow. And so what we're asking this week is indeed that you would come to the Sunday Forum, and if you have the time, to select your favorite stewardship text. And we've asked Glen Gronlund to lead this very important conversation, this very important Sunday Forum this week. What are his favorite stewardship texts? Glen has worked in this area for years, both as a fundraiser and as a pastor. And so I'm wondering, in all those years, what are his favorite stewardship texts? But also, I'm asking you, if you have the time, select your favorite text as well. Now, I'm going to share one of mine, or two of mine, because often when we talk about tithing, we wonder where that comes from. And of course, it came from Abraham as he's visited in the desert, and he offers a tithe to Melchizedek of 10% of all he owned. And so often that's simply understood that we are to tithe 10% of our income and our wealth. But actually, my favorite tithing text comes from Numbers 18. And here is what's often considered the first tithe that was given to the Levites. It was given to those priests who were running the temple. So much like today, one might say, I give a tithe, I give an offering to the church, right, to run the ministries and the administration of the church. That was this first tithe. But then it goes on in Deuteronomy to talk about a second tithe, the festival tithe. I find this interesting, and almost no one talks about this, is that families were to bring a tithe to the temple. It was sacrificed, but then given back to the family for celebrations. Think about that. God is demanding here a tithe that we are generous as we celebrate in our homes. We celebrate with our family, we bring over friends. In other words, we should be giving 10% of our income for festivities, for celebrations, but always to be done before God. The offering was to God, it was just enjoyed within the family and the tribe. And then the third tithe, also in Deuteronomy 14, was called the poor tithe. And that as we are giving to the temple, or we're giving to the church, first tithe, and as we're giving then to ourselves before God to enjoy the festivities of our families and friends, the third tithe was always to remember the poor. And so here are three tithes that the Lord lifts up in the Old Testament. So those are my favorite stewardship texts. What are yours? So come to the Sunday Forum. Glen Gronland will be there, and he will share his favorite texts with us, and then be willing to share yours with him. And thanks for joining us on this Sunday Forum. Bye-bye now.